Okay, we're going to talk about the bedding on the number 4 Enfield barrel, and we're going to refer to my book for one particularly good example that has come over the years from target shooters. Okay, so here's the standard forend out of a number 4. Started to work on it a bit here. This here's the bearing area. There's your main screw area. Everything here is stock standard, excepting where I've started to work around the bearing under the reinforce of the barrel. Now, on a stock number 4 Enfield, that's your rearmost contact point, and then the little wood platform at the front here, 3 inches long, that's the only other contact point and supplies your barrel up pressure of 3 to 5 pounds. Now, what target shooters have done over the years, they've developed two particular well-known methods called mid-bearing and center bearing. Now here's the position where your mid-barrel band goes around the wood, and what these guys have done is they've built up bedding material on this platform here under the barrel, and at the front they've taken this out, this step, so that the barrel is fully floating through here. You can take it right down to the steel of the nose cap. Then right here they build up bedding material, and that's mid-bedding. Now if you can see the target here, there's a target result from mid-bedding. Now there is 5 shots there within 1.5 inches at 100 yards. So that's really pretty darn good. That's 1.5 inches is as good as a number 4 Mark II would shoot. And in fact there's 3 shots there within their clover leafing, so that's within 1/2 inch. So this is really starting to show extraordinary potential with the mid-bedding. Now center bedding keeps the contact back here, and here's a quick mention about what I'm doing here. If you can see the changes in the wood, Mr. and Mrs. Enfield, when they designed Enfield, made this bearing in the wood here quite wide. It's about 1 inch long, and they made it 1 inch to 1.5 inches wide, so it wraps around the reinforce. Target shooters across the board figured out that number 4 Enfields shoot much better with this platform being reduced. So it's 1 inch long from the wood to the front of the wood, and it's 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch wide. They have all done this. That's out of all the steps you have to do to modify an Enfield for accuracy, that's what you do. Now all you do is make a cardboard template to that shape, pencil draw an outline on your wood so it's all sanded up, and then just start reducing the height of the wood on the sides. Now, additionally, they've relieved the wood so there's no contact here around the Knox form, there or there. So the Knox form is completely floating. You can get a piece of paper all the way around there. Now, forward from that, center bedding uses the first wooden platform you come to, which is in the center between the mid-band and the reinforced bearing. Now, all the way to the front, the barrel is floating until you get to the front, and that platform is taken out again. So the barrel is floating where your brass band is, and there's your center bearing here. Now here's a target that we generated with a center bedded Enfield, and we've got 5 shots there in under 1 inch, and completely fully on top of each other, and of course the invariable Mark 7 ammunition, one fly heading off into the woods on its own. But 5 shots in 3/4 of an inch. Fantastically good shooting. Now, so the bearing here can either be a full semicircle of the barrel. It can be, in the case of this rifle, 2 narrow strips of cork material at 4 and 7 p.m, just 1/4 of an inch wide, just along here and here, and that's also to let the heat escape under this bottom portion of the channel. Now in the overhead of the handguard, I don't recall what we have here. Yes, this is strongly packed over this position. When you've got this bedded in this position in the center bedding, and your gun is installed, your handguard, top handguard goes on, at this front section here, it should be a 1/16 of an inch high here. So just to back up, you get your center bedding done, you put your barrel in, your handguard you're going to pack with cork, in a full wraparound semicircle between these two positions. You're going to also pack the cork with layers of cardboard, but you're going to shim it out so that when you rest the handguard in, you're going to clip it under the back, under its restraint here, and at the front here it should be a 1/16 inch off the wood, so that when you pull that down to the clamp, it puts pressure from the top down here onto the barrel. All barrels that have had bedding work done that involve having packing in the handguards, it's a given, and it's never written, but it's a given, that the handguard packing is clamping onto the barrel. It's downwards pressure restraining the barrel. If that's a loose fit or just 1 or 2 pounds pressure on top or bottom, it's not working, it's not doing anything. It's just like having a floating barrel. So they need to be tight. So once you've got perhaps a 1/16 of cork around the semicircle, put a single layer of cardboard in there and see if you've got a 1/16 inch hide here. And just keep packing it until you get a bit of an air gap, and then clamp that baby down. Now, center bedding, fantastically accurate, I love it. Externally your rifle stays very much the same, and it's the bedding method of choice. There is a popular method that the Canadians came up with in circa 1964. It's a variation on this mid-bedding. Instead of having this bedding platform here centered on the mid-brass band, they shifted it back 2 inches so that it's, instead of being like this, it's just displaced slightly to the rear of that band. So it's actually on the band, but it's behind it. And it's a full wrap on the top and a full wrap on the bottom. Now that did very good for the Canadians in 1964. And it's quite common to find that private shooters have adopted that method as well. But by far and away, mid-bedding you'll find everywhere in Parker Hale target rifles. Center bedding you'll find all over the place too. And that's it. Barrel bedding for the number 4. Number 4 has a good strong barrel. It floats very, very well. It doesn't have any of the whipping, vibrating problems that the number 1 does, that number 1 Mark III has. So that's it.